Okay, let's open the meeting.
Okay, 5:32.
5:32, November 7th. Okay, administrative duties. Do we have any bills?
No bills,
No bills.
just in this one letter here.
Okay, correspondence.
And we're gonna,
There's no minutes.
No, we're gonna
no hard
post-
copies to read and go over. The only correspondent we have is a FEMA.
so we'll postpone the minutes till the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
This is, this is addressed to the select board.
But if you go to the very end,
You already had a chance to read this too?
well, that's, if you back up the page. The letter's two-sided, but then this is, we're in.
Yeah, we're all CC'd in that.
Yeah. And the public hearing is until 6, so.
This sounds like this would be more for conservation to fill out. Watersheds. Do you have a copy? Or you can
No,
send-
you,
No, I'm looking at the
I got the
time
only
bond
copy.
stuff.
you have the only copy.
Yeah, this is, I mean, we could have a joint meeting, but Bob, this is more up your alley. This, that to me looks like something that would probably be more involved with conservation.
I have the notice for the public hearing for the 59 Ferry Hill. Here, why don't you take this one, because that one says Bob on the top. And that, Rob, I sent you everything on the Ferry Hill, 59 Ferry Hill. I sent you all those documents. This is the proposed hearing notice, and at first we were going to say to address issues in the building inspector's letter of August 8th or something like that, and instead Chris said no, it has to be something specific. So we're calling it an amended site plan and an amended special permit.
Oh, thank you. Me.
That falls on our regular meeting night, correct?
Yes, that is a Monday, December 10th.
Yeah, second Monday, okay.
So, I'm assuming everybody's okay with it. When I was talking with Kathy today, it was kind of, Steve Nally had one viewpoint as to, no, it doesn't go back to the planning board, it should be just ZBA, and then the building inspector says, but yes, but there's this, and this, and so it ended up to be, yes, it's a joint one.
Well,
So, so you're okay with that? I'll tell you you're okay with that?
yes.
Okay.
You guys want to sign this?
Oh, you need just a regular pen on that?
What was the date on the other one?
Got, it's, should be there, or Bob just put it away. Oh, no, the date on there, is there a date on anything else in that packet you got there?
My packet, this is the,
No, the one there?
No,
No.
this is just a
Right.
plan.
Is there a copy of the, right here? 1022.
Have you read this one?
Yes.
Okay. I would agree that it's more conservation. I don't see us being involved in it, in that FEMA thing at all. And since it's addressed to the selectmen primarily, they're the ones that are in charge of conservation. So,
So, now we know. Rob, you wanna?
and conservation is basically CC'd according to the second page,
Yeah, I saw that.
to the old chair anyway.
I'll leave this here. Sign in. In case we get visitors.
Okay.
Okay, so now, this is our copy, I'll put it in the file with the rest of it. Floor is still slanted,
What's that?
the floor is still slanted. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. So let me, you don't need this anymore. Okay, I'll keep that, that's Glenn's, you're gonna keep yours. That's 59. There we go, that's all of the documents there.
Okay,
But that public hearing is gonna be December 10th.
got it. That's it. Well, I think I overheard Jim say that's a regularly scheduled meeting.
It is, yes.
Yeah, it'd be a second Monday. Okay.
That's it? Okay.
So here's a question for this amended special permit for 59 Ferry Hill. Will Rob be able to partake in that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay,
because it's like a brand new, starting all over again.
okay,
My opinion would.
okay.
And quite frankly, I don't know if we're even gonna have an opinion on it. It's up to zoning, whether they're gonna allow it or not.
Right,
If they do, then the only opinion we may have is our typical parking or
yeah.
so on and so forth.
Signage, anything like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
These are the letters from the other towns as to public hearings they're holding. You want to look at them? And that's all that's in here. I'm going to put this back here.
Did you send those to me? Well, did I get those in an email from you or not?
No, those
Okay.
Kathy just puts in the folder, and this is
These are-
the first everybody sees of
These are
them.
decisions from surrounding.
It's just informational.
This one is from Ludlow. special permit home occupation. So someone's running a business out of their home. This is Ludlow again for a new elementary school. Yeah, this is Bondsville Road. Two estate lots. None of these have any effect. Chickadee. This is for, why are we getting construction of a porch,
Yeah,
variance?
it's, I honestly don't understand why they do this, but
Yeah, I don't,
it must be some part of a code or something.
All town, well, we do the same thing, sending ours to, at least Kathy does, to,
yeah, but these have no bearing on.
just informational.
Just informational, yeah.
It's like a butters.
So Ludlow has kind of the same bullet list that we do when we're going through special permits, and you just check them all off.
Yep.
You have anything else?
No? Susan will be here November 26th. I assume we're still having that meeting. That's our next normally, regularly scheduled meeting. I believe with an update on the permitting guide, because that has to be done by the end of December. So they're at the point now where they might need a little bit of guidance from us.
For what piece?
The permitting guide, you know, the, how.
Okay, yeah, just the schedule of.
The permitting guide is, we need to explain it to Rob, because he's probably sitting there going, what are you talking about?
It's a flow chart, so when people come to, actually, we're doing it in conjunction with Ludlow, with a grant. So if people come to, whether they're a business or want to start up a business, the process in which they have to go through, whether it's planning board, where to start based on what they're trying to do to guide them right through the whole process. So they're ready to present to us where they're at, and then,
Right, they're supposedly three-quarters finished, just have to tweak a couple of things that are specific to us, and then hopefully they'll be done. Because we're running out of meeting dates.
Well, if it would help them, I wouldn't be adverse to meeting earlier in November, just for that sole purpose, to meet with Pioneer Valley Planning Commission.
rather than wait until the 22nd,
Yeah.
regular meeting.
26, yeah. Yeah, because it's right after Thanksgiving.
Like,
No, you're going to be
It's the
here?
Monday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Thanksgiving's the 20,
second,
okay.
26th is the Monday after. So what would you propose? Well, you have to see what her availability is, too, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
Well, maybe what can happen is an email gets sent out and everybody respond, or come up with some dates and see, Glenn's availability, Susan's, that kind of stuff.
We need to sign in. Would you sign in? You can be the first one.
All right. I'm from time off.
Are you Jean?
I am.
Jean Christie, P.E.?
That's my name.
She's has the official reporting.
Jean, have you been here before? You look familiar.
I was before the Conservation Commission a couple of years ago, but I was on the Conservation Commission a long time ago.
Here in town?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When Kim Maswick was,
Maybe that's what it is then.
that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Grown up since then.
Back when you used to,
Grown older.
back when you used to
Yeah.
meet the old Kellogg Hall, second floor.
Sure thing.
Maybe that's what it's from. Are we even sure Borrega's coming?
The last I heard, he was. Dean Smith.
Different, so.
Yeah. We have time, it's only
Yeah, it's
5:49.
10 minutes.
You wanna close this and then just reopen under the hearing?
Well, I think we should keep this open until
Okay.
the 6 o'clock bell.
And then
That way we haven't opened ahead of what the agenda says. Right?
Right. I don't think we have anything else. I've been going through the bylaws, putting numbers down on the side of the schedule of use.
Well, I'll bring up a subject. Should we ask again to advertise for a recording secretary's slot?
I'm not going to say no.
Okay.
I don't know what good it'll do because they're only advertising in the Reminder and the Sentinel. You know,
Did we get an answer back from the school?
That was Glenn's.
Glenn's Corner. It's on Glenn's to-do list. I thought I had somebody the other day, but didn't work out.
I think we should entertain it.
We can go ahead and do, it. The cheapest one is the Sentinel and the Town Reminder. After if you go into like the Republican or the Gazette, then you're talking a couple $100 to put in.
Yeah, but the other two hit our market. We're not gonna bring somebody in from Springfield or Chicopee.
With the other two, the Reminder?
No, with the Republican, I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah. They don't have to be a town.
No, they don't have to.
Resident.
Do you really think someone's gonna come in from Springfield?
Now might be the time to try it. Maybe, somebody who, whether he or she are looking to pick up some extra money for Christmas, and maybe we could get somebody in the door and,
They'll like it so much, they'll stay.
yeah. Yeah.
I can ask Kathy to get a price anyway, or do you want to just go with the Sentinel and the Reminder? That'll catch people nearby here.
Well, we went with the Sentinel and the Reminder, and we ended up with somebody from, was it West Brookfield?
Yep.
That was interested?
Interested, but then didn't return any emails or anything else. And
Yeah, that candidate would have worked out real well.
yeah. And it was kind of iffy, like you're driving all the way from West Brookfield in the wintertime out here,
Yeah.
so.
I would say we should Sentinel and Reminder. And I'm almost, I was gonna say the Gazette, we could hit some, some of the colleges, but I don't think the students are reading the Gazette.
They-
I wonder if Mount Holyoke has a paper, a student news or,
I don't know.
Sure, they got a website.
And I thought about maybe going online to an online place to do it there, because,
how about a, what do they call it? An employment agency.
it'll cost money. I mean, just, I can have Kathy find out how much, or I can.
They mark it up too.
Yeah.
Is there something going on downstairs tonight?
I don't know. I didn't see anything, nothing was posted, so. You don't know of anything else? No? It's a
Well,
mystery.
let's at least go with the or my motion is to go with the Sentinel and the Reminder. See if we can get somebody, scare somebody up.
So a motion to advertise in the Sentinel and Town Reminder for a recording secretary.
Now, does that hit all of the sister companies?
All the
Or
Turley
sister?
publications, yeah.
I'm
All
sorry?
the Turley publications?
Yeah. Or does it,
Sure.
because isn't there like a Chicopee Recorder, or Chicopee
Yeah.
Herald or something?
Yeah,
I don't know if it hits all of them.
Okay.
If you're paying for the Reminder, it's going in, that particular paper. I believe.
Yeah, I think you can target a certain area, certain town or community.
It might be worth hitting the one in Chicopee too. Whatever the name of that publication is.
You don't mind me intervening, you write something up and put it on our billboard on Channel 15,
okay.
or bulletin board, I mean.
Yeah,
So advertise in the Sentinel, Town Reminder, Chicopee, Herald, you call it?
whatever Turley publications,
I think is it the Herald?
Pardon?
Is it the Chicopee Herald?
I thought I,
might be.
Sounds right.
Chicopee publication, Chicopee Turley publication, how about that?
Yeah.
That's your motion?
And GCAP.
That's your motion?
Yes.
You have a second?
I second that motion.
Okay,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye. Okay, you got 5 minutes. Maybe he's not showing from Borrego. It'll be a short meeting.
For Borrego?
Yeah.
You should be on this way.
Are you one too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you want to sign in, please?
Sure.
We were just wondering, because...
Yeah, but I think you said he's showing you here by 6. Is that when you guys started? Oh.
Yes. Yeah, we're waiting, because it's not 6 o'clock yet. I have muscles. That's why I don't jump on my orange juice.
I'm glad we're back in this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
A little tight over there.
That's not appropriate.
Yeah.
They should never schedule us in there.
Yeah, and Kathy suggested over there for the one on Ferry Hill. I said, well, there's no room for anybody to even
No.
stand in there, so,
Especially if we have ZBA with us.
yeah.
That-
The acoustics alone.
Yeah.
3 minutes. I'll have the minutes done before we leave here tonight. So Rob, did I plug up your email with everything I sent you?
You did.
I sent him all the
That's fine.
documents on the solar and all the documents for 59 Perry Hill.
It'll keep me busy.
And there will be a test. Come on in.
Please sign in. Thank you.
Thank you. Bob, put that in there, some tips on these lawyers. If you would, please.
You're in charge now.
Have a motion, close the meeting.
I'll make a motion to close the meeting so that we can open the public hearing for Borrega Solar Voltaic, with the understanding that once the public hearing has ended, we will reconvene the meeting.
Have a second?
Second on motion?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's 6 o'clock, November 7th. We are continuing the hearing to consider the application of Borrego Solar System, Inc., 55 Technology Drive, Suite 102, Lowell, Mass. For a special permit and site plan approvals as required under the following sections of the Granby zoning bylaws. I'm not going to go through the different sections, but the applicant proposes to install a 6.3 megawatt DC ground-mounted solar voltaic facility on approximately 30 acre portion of a parcel of land located at 0 Kendall Street, Assessor's Map ID 8-B-5, owned by Breezy Acres LLC on 25 Pleasant Street, Granby, Mass., which is located within a residential single-family zoning district. Good evening.
You're on.
So,
I think what I'd like to do is hear from Ty and Bond first, to go over your findings after the peer review. Make sense?
Yeah.
You can, whatever you're more
I
comfortable
can
with.
be loud, so. For the record, I'm Jean Christie, project engineer with Time Bond. We did review the package submitted to us early in October. The way we conduct a peer review is we have a few different staff members reviewing different components of the project. We have, a planner and a couple civil engineers reviewing plans, and then the stormwater. And I was the stormwater reviewer, as kind of, that's my niche, so. When we look at a solar project peer review, we look at your compliance with your zoning bylaws and your solar bylaws and site plan review criteria, special permit criteria, all that stuff. And then we talked about reviewing in compliance with the stormwater management standards from Mass DEP. So we did provide a letter dated October 17th. Many of the comments are technical compliance with the criteria of site plan review or special permit applications. I'm happy to go through each and every one of them if you want, or if we want to talk about specific bigger picture ones, whatever the board would like.
I think we should start with one and
I'd like to
run right through.
And I also should note that I haven't received any response to comments yet. I don't know, what the status of that, so.
We were specifically asked not to address them until the board
Okay.
heard the comments and added their additional thoughts to it. We also had a technical review committee meeting since the letter was issued with various staff departments. So I have notes from that meeting. It doesn't add a lot to the peer review, but we'll take care of those at the same time as well. Susan Westa had said that she would summarize and send those to us in writing, but I haven't received those yet.
Okay, so looking at number one, we were looking for additional topographic and property line data. It's not always necessary to have an actual field survey done, but just documenting where the data came from and maybe adding more data as needed. The wetland delineation is another aspect of the project that could change things, so confirmation from the Conservation Commission that the wetland boundaries delineation was accepted is, the notation to add to the plan, or in response. Number two, the scale of the plan was a little difficult just to see. It was 40 scale, pretty typical. It was a little bit bigger or smaller than that, which made it harder to read. Number three, just asking for a legend and plan references, just so we know what's what. Number four, site plan should depict contour labels, proposed grades. I don't think there was any, the existing grades had, or proposed grades didn't have any labels. Number five, the access road turnaround should be reviewed by the fire department. I expect that was probably talked about at their technical review. Number six, talking about the electrical equipment schedule. The models and makes just need some consistency between those. Stabilized construction entrance, that's where the construction vehicles will be entering and exiting the property. We want to see that at a minimum, same width as the roadway. Number eight, because of the significant changes in topography of the site, the access road should indicate grading. That's just so we can be sure that the limit of disturbance and stabilization measures are appropriate. I also noted that the access road should be designed to provide ample maneuvering for emergency vehicles. Again, that was probably likely discussed at technical review. Number nine, the applicant should clarify how the site will be stabilized following tree clearing and grubbing. This has been a bigger topic lately in our experience, especially when we have tree clearing and getting stabilization before we install solar panels. And it's a challenge, and it's a challenge from the construction side as well from permitting side. But just a little more information would be great. Kind of to piggyback on that, number 10 is to provide a construction sequence just so we understand what happens after what and where there may be some difficulties. Number 11 is unclear why the proposed internal access road is located within the buffer zone. Our approach is often avoidance of anywhere within the buffer zone when we can, and then if we have to have panels in it, we have panels in it, but we try to keep the road out. Just want a little more information about why, and maybe, I don't think an alternative analysis is really warranted, just a quick statement about that. Number 12, clarification whether a construction staging and laydown area is required or proposed, and where construction period parking may occur. 13, clarifying whether the equipment pads require grading. Sometimes they're flat, sometimes they need a little bit of pitch. I usually have them taken care of in a detail rather than grading on a plan. Number 14, the drawing should include electrical trench detail. 15, the drawings include a detail for a concrete washout location, however, that location is not shown on the site plans. Just look for a little bit more on that. Page 16, equipment pad detail wasn't seen from the plans. 17, there was a little confusion with the size or configuration of the fence, whether it would include barbed wire or not, and I think the fence height was a question. 18, the perimeter fence to prevent the movement of wildlife. We often see Mass DEP request that there is a 6-inch lift off the ground for fencing so that little critters can get underneath. Number 19, the access gate is called out at different widths, just a little more clarification, please. 20 is a bigger item, and it's going to take a little bit of board discussion, I think, regarding the decommissioning estimate. Instead of reading the whole thing, I'll try to summarize our perspective on this. Is scrap values are often used in a decommissioning estimate, and it makes sense, but predicting that value is hard. So based on what the board has done in the past, in requiring a detailed estimate, I would urge you to keep with what you do, what you're comfortable with. But I think that's going to be a topic to talk about later, too, if we want to kind of hold that one a little bit. 21, the zoning bylaw doesn't explicitly require analysis of visual impacts or mitigation for visual impacts, but the board may want to consider if anything additional is required based on the closer residential properties. Number 22, the applicant should provide additional information demonstrating that the project meets the special permit criteria. And we actually note the applicant should also address the environmental performance standards in section 5.2. Moving on to stormwater, we do review the stormwater design in compliance with the Massachusetts stormwater standards. It's a pretty standard item. Number 23, there was a stormwater memorandum in which hydrologic analysis was provided, but there wasn't quite enough detail in that. You can pick how much you present, and oftentimes I'll do it mistakenly as well. So looking for a little more detail. Number 24, the post-development watershed plan references a couple of basins and culverts, which I didn't see in the design plans. So just a little clarification if they're proposed, and then if they are, just some more details. Number 25, regarding soils, there was soil mapping boundaries, but we need some more soil information, especially if there is a basin, to, so that we know where groundwater is, what soil textures we have underneath those basins. Number 26, the southwestern corner of the project drains southwesterly, and I did not see any perimeter controls around that area. Number 27, include a detail for silt fence and mulch tubes, and then the grading plans only depicted a different kind, so I want clarification on what intended erosion controls are proposed. So that concludes the quick review of our peer review. Are there any specific questions about any of those?
Okay, it sounds, most of these sounds like you're just looking for more data.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there wasn't anything wrong.
That's
Really wrong.
that's what I-
More detail.
Okay. So, you want to go through and address
I can
each of these?
give you, most of the items are clarification. The stormwater calculations that we provided were draft. We've been working on more detail added to that, so that'll come in with the next submittal and addressing the specific questions about the stormwater design from Ty and Bond. We will add sheets that break down the site layouts into a larger scale so that they're easier to read. Part of the reason that we were working on stormwater calculations is looking forward to a submittal to the Conservation Commission so we can clarify all that as well. The fire department access issues were discussed at the technical review committee meeting, so we will address their issues as well with our our next submittal. We will also provide a more detailed phasing plan and construction sequencing, so Glenn Bond can see how we're planning to construct the site. And on larger sites like this, they do have a valid concern about how we're going to stabilize as we clear, because it is a largely forested site, so we need to clear that in phases and stabilize as we go along. So we'll provide more detail in that regard with our next submittal. We can also have some kind of a abbreviated alternatives analysis about why we located things where we did. We are talking with our designers about possibly trying to pull out of the buffer more than what we had shown on the earlier designs. So we'll probably be incorporating that into the next design that you see as well. We'll also designate where we would have construction parking and staging for delivery of equipment to the site. Concrete washout is just an addition to the plan. It'll be somewhere near the exit so that if the trucks are that dirty that they need to pull off and wash off their tires so they don't track onto the road, that's provided.
How much concrete are you pouring up there?
It's not really a concrete, it's gravel. So it has concrete around it to keep everything contained. There's a detail on the plans that shows how that's laid out, but it's really just a gravel area where they can wash down their tires, and all of the dirt off the tires is washed into that gravel area rather than being tracked out onto the road. The couple of things that Gene mentioned that we do need some input from the board on. The electrical code requires a 7-foot fence for these types of facilities. She pointed out that the bylaws permit a 6-foot fence. In some cases, we provide a 6-foot fence with 1 foot of barbed wire to meet that electrical code requirement. We would like to get some kind of reading from the board. If we go in that direction, if that meets the bylaw requirements, or if we need to pursue some kind of a waiver from that requirement, because we do have to provide a minimum of 7 feet for the fence under the electrical code.
I don't think we've requested or required any of the barbed wiring on the top.
Not in the previous two
And I don't see where-
separate.
I don't see where that would make sense if we're trying to keep the fence 6 inches or so off the ground.
But apparently electric code, if I
It
just,
says 7 feet.
yeah,
Right, and sometimes we provide a straight 7-foot fence, that's why there's a confusion on the plans. Because sometimes we do just a straight 7-foot chain link fence, sometimes we do 6 plus 1 foot of barbed wire to meet that requirement. We're happy to provide the 6-inch gap for wildlife. We do that on many occasions, so that's not a problem.
is that 6-inch gap, and can you carry that into the height of the fence?
I think that it may, but we still have to extend the 6-foot fence. somewhat.
Another half a foot.
Requirement.
Okay.
So we will have to cross that bridge in some fashion, whatever the board's pleasure is.
I would say 7 feet, keep it at the 7 feet, meet the electrical code. If you take a 6-foot fence and raise it to meet the clearance you're looking for, now you're talking a foot, you're defeating the purpose of putting a fence there for,
Correct.
so it'd be my opinion, to stick with the 7-foot fence.
Okay, is that something
So
that
the-
we should just specifically ask for a waiver from the planning board on?
Yes.
Okay.
Or I speak for myself.
Yeah, no, that's, we'd have to
We'd have to-
request a waiver and then we'd vote on it to,
Yeah.
so you're correct.
Okay. And the other issue was what Gene was describing about the decommissioning bond. It is a little difficult to project amounts that would be available for salvage, because we're really looking at the end of life, so 20 or 30 years in the future. So without a crystal ball, it's hard to predict those things. Depending on what the local jurisdiction's pleasure is, sometimes we just eliminate that, so that we don't have to deal with it at this point. Whatever the board's direction and pleasure on that is, we can revise our decommissioning to be consistent with that.
I believe what we did, for the first one that came into town, is we did not include any of the scrap fees. And it was also subject to, labor and removal at, for lack of a better word, union rate.
Okay.
And we got into a little bit of argument about that.
Yeah, it was
That they
pretty-
didn't, the prevailing rate thing. And the town's thought was, if we have to hire somebody because Borrega isn't here or somebody else that could potentially end up owning you folks, then we have to hire somebody, so.
Okay. All right, well, we can certainly do that. We'll remove the salvage retrieval from it, and we'll look at prevailing rates.
I'd like to check that document though, because I think we removed the salvage.
Well, I think we did too. My feeling is to remove the salvage. Decommissioning is gonna cost what decommissioning is gonna cost. And then, the salvage can go back to the contractor or to the owner.
Right, there
Yeah.
would be a recovery cost to whoever's doing the work, yes. Okay, that's pretty clear, I can make those changes. The special permit criteria, we'll just include a summary that steps through the special permit criteria and also the environmental performance standards for you, so that you see how we intend to meet each of those requirements. We are working with a sub-consultant on some visual exhibits. They've gone onto some of the adjacent properties and taken some photos in the rear of those properties near the project, so that we can basically show what a view from their backyards might look like. They've also cut a number of cross-sections from Kendall Street, as well as some other view corridors, and have cross-sections that show there's a lot of variation in the topography. So if you're down at Kendall Street, the rise of the hill basically cuts off the view up to our site. So we have half a dozen or 8 different cross-sections across there that show what those view sheds are like, as well as the photographic exhibits. So we'll finish those and submit those with our revised information as well. In addition to that, we are also working with a consultant that's doing a glare study for us, so that those issues are also addressed. And I think that's pretty much it. We'll provide whatever geotechnical information we have on the soils, so that's clear. Or if it's not available, we need to do some soil sampling in the areas where we do have water management features proposed. We can cross that bridge. So I think these are very straightforward. I don't see a problem with us addressing those to the board's satisfaction with our new submittal. As I did mention, we are working with our designers to try and tighten up the design, reduce the wetland buffer impacts before we submit to your local conservation commission for approval. So that's underway, and we'll incorporate that with our next revision.
Okay, can we move on to what what came of the roundtable discussion with the
Well,
two chiefs and the,
I don't know that that's fair, because Borrega never received a copy, if I understood you
I
earlier.
have my notes from the meeting. I
He was
can
at
give
the
you a
meeting.
general
Right.
rundown of what the discussion was. They may have a different take on something than I do, but I can give you a general flavor. They're very similar issues to what Gene has brought up in the peer review letter. Not a lot to add about that. The different departments were concerned about very specific different aspects of the project, so it might have gone into a little more detail in some cases. The highway department asked us for, on the entrance drive, to a little bit steep coming down the hill. We have done some more detailed design and graded that for adequate passage by the emergency vehicles. But the highway department reviewer asked for some water bars coming down the hill so that all of the drainage doesn't shoot right down that roadway, that it's deflected off into the side at various points. So we'll add those to the plan. And he also asked us for a paved apron at Kendall Street, so we'll add that as well. There was a comment about the adjacent property to the west. There's a ridge in that property. It's town-owned property, and apparently, I think that might have been the planning department that raised that issue. I guess there's some thought that it might be a location for a site for a tower, a communication tower, and they wanted to know where the ridge breaks to the west. I think it's very close to our property line, and I think the high point of that ridge is very near our southwest corner. So we'll take a closer look at that and respond to that. Hopefully they'll throw a little more light on that when they provide the written comment, but we're certainly open to working with them on that. The fire department asked for training of the emergency personnel. It's something that our operation team does on a customary basis. Once the site is constructed, they usually invite the local emergency services to the site to review, where all the disconnects, the shutoffs are, the gates, other access points. We provide Knox boxes for the emergency services access normally, so we're happy to do that. They did also ask for us to provide a circle turnaround rather than the T that we've got shown at the south end of our driveway, so that they can just circle around and exit that from the property. The fire chief said that he would provide a design radius for us to use there, but I haven't seen that yet. He said that most of the access down in that portion of the site would be by pickup truck. It wouldn't really be emergency vehicles trying to come down there and turn around. We do need a fairly open turnaround for placement of our energy storage system, because they're in larger structures that contain the battery systems, and they'll be set by crane. So we'll have to provide for crane access to set those structures, and that provides good access for emergency vehicles as well. Had some questions about snow removal, so we will add some details about that. And they also mentioned the glare study with the local Air Force base, so that'll be included in our review. The building department brought up the view corridors, which we're already working on. And the final comment that I have a note about are trails that are in the park to the west. It's Dufresne Park. They wanted us to obtain some trail maps and see where that is in reference to our project. So we'll work on that as well.
You took no issue with any of the requests from?
No, there wasn't anything that we didn't feel like we could comply with.
Okay, that's
So
good.
we'll just work on addressing their comments.
You've got that, right?
I've got that, yes.
Yes.
I think for not having this, I think Dean pretty well ticked everything off,
Yeah, you did.
so,
And then you
Is there a written version?
yes.
Okay.
Susan didn't share that with you?
I haven't seen it yet,
Oh, okay.
unless it got caught in our email filter or something. I'll
You
do
have-
that for Susan and get a copy of it.
Well, we should probably just provide a copy right here then, or you'd rather have it electronically, I'm sure.
Anyway, I can reach out to Susan and ask her.
Yeah.
Would like copies of those comments?
Does the board have any other questions for either applicant or Ty and Bond?
No, I think this is a work in progress. I don't have any, and I think it's a work in progress.
Nothing
And
at the moment.
So
Everybody-
what's the next step now, that you supply answers to questions that they
Right.
have?
We'll revise our plans, our calculations, and other supporting information to address the comments that Time Bond has made, as well as the technical review committee. And we'll outline all that in the letter. Each comment, we'll put it there and put our response as to how we addressed it, and send that to the board at the same time that we do to Time Bond. And once they review it, if everything looks good and they give us a clean letter, then we can come back before the board and hopefully close the public hearing.
So you'll provide us through Pioneer Valley a second look at the drawings after they,
And I think it's always beneficial for the board to allow these consultants to discuss independently. So as long as the board's okay with that, we can take care of the nitty-gritty technical stuff that I know you don't really want to hear.
is the applicant okay with that?
That usually works best if I just work directly with Gene to make sure that we're on the right track. If I've got questions about any of the comments, or if there's something that I'm not sure that we're addressing properly, I can reach out directly to
But you'll keep Susan in the loop.
Ooh, right,
Yeah,
with Susan
yeah.
included.
Oh, yeah.
all of that.
I don't have a problem with it. It seems to be, it would seem to me to be the more efficient way.
Yeah, That's fine on that end. What I didn't want happening is the round table giving directives without us reviewing them first to see if it made sense from the board's perspective. Anything else?
We need both you gentlemen to sign in. But,
Is there any comment from the public?
yeah,
Not right now, no. It's just, like you said, it's all technical stuff. But, I would like to see the next plan, to see how, in your site plan, because I don't know how they did that from my backyard, how you're gonna show when the trees were all foliated and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, the foliage was there when the photos were taken, so that's an option that we may be able to return once the leaves have fallen. And get some updated photos, so they may be reaching out to you for another photo. once the leaves are gone.
Yeah, either myself or, it will probably be myself that reaches out to you directly. And if we're gonna take a look at what they already did, and then we'll probably have someone come back and look these up.
Okay,
We'll let you know for sure.
all right.
my question would be, I assume we're almost ready to close, or to continue the
but-
public hearing.
That's the next question. How long is it gonna take you to,
Well, I think that we probably can, within the next 2 weeks, revise our information and get it back in Gene's hands with some back and forth between us if there are questions along the way. And then she would need time to do a new review. So I would think something on the order of a month continuance would give us time for some back and forth and to resolve all the issues that are remaining.
okay, so now we're talking
December.
December, but are we talking the 10th? Do we have something on it?
We have something on the 10th. So but the 24th, I don't think we're gonna have a meeting before Christmas.
Well, we can go the 3rd, the 7th, no, we can,
The 31st? Oh,
The third is Hanukkah, if that makes any difference to anyone.
let's go, it doesn't have to be on a Monday, let's pick a day during the week, if we need to, the week of the 10th, I think, does that make sense?
That seems like that would give sufficient time for us to resolve things.
so the 12th, have a Wednesday, and that way you won't run into conservation here?
Yep.
And it won't affect Glenn with the select board meeting.
No, they should be, well, they're the week off from the week we have ours, so, unless they have something special going on. How about you?
12th? No, I have a meeting that night. Leader meeting.
You're okay?
No, I have a meeting that night.
You have a meeting that night, okay. Do you have a meeting Wednesday nights usually, or,
Second Wednesday of the month.
oh, the very one we picked? Yeah. Unless you want to go the week after the 19th? You're not going to be around?
No, that's,
Getting too close to Christmas. How about the Thursday, the 13th?
Yeah, that's fine with me. Are those 17's not good?
The 13th?
17?
the 17th. That's a select board night.
Oh, okay. Glenn, yep.
Yeah, they're the first and third, we're the second and fourth.
Yep.
We could do it the 10th. We could, the other one shouldn't take that long, that joint. And we're just gonna do a review of scope. We could do it the 10th.
I thought you only wanted to do one public hearing a night.
Typically, we do.
With ZBA, you think it's gonna go all that quick? You're terribly optimistic. Well, wait a minute, what time is,
On the 10th?
yeah,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
I don't know, I personally would just as soon go for another night.
13th?
13th it is?
13?
December 13th at 6?
I'll make a motion to continue this public hearing to Thursday, December 13th
At 6.
at 6 PM.
You have a second?
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. I'd like,
Thank you very much.
okay.
Thank you.
I'd like to make another motion to reopen our earlier meeting.
Second?
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We should probably, I don't know if this is worth saying or not, but if you find that you can't meet the time frame for that, for the continuation, just let us know. We can still open it and close it, not close it. But if, to save everybody from,
I don't see any reason that we should go past that, but if we should, we could give the board notice and request a formal continuation.
Yeah, as we continue these hearings, we have to either open them and close them, or we have to repost them and advertise them, and so that's,
okay.
I think we'll be able to resolve these issues, and they're not that earth-shattering, so we should be ready for the hearing.
okay. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you. Nice to meet you, Gene. Time for another motion?
Let's see, you all set, Lauren?
Yeah. We don't have to go over the,
Did we vote on
Open
that
action
motion to open the meeting, to reopen it? I made the motion. We voted. Okay.
yep.
Does anybody have anything else? For tonight? All right, accept the motion to adjourn.
I will make said motion.
Have a second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.